Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning. We're coming up on 6 o'clock this morning on Up with KREM. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas Eve morning. And today we also want to give this big thank you to the mail carriers and delivery people who have worked so hard this year to get our presents to our family members in faraway places. Now, many of us, of course, not able to travel this year due to COVID-19. But mail carriers are there to help us this year. Make sure our families know we are thinking about them. I know that is something I can speak for myself, Dana Marie. I'm sure that that's something we all can relate to. I'm waiting on gifts to arrive from my mom, and it wouldn't happen without them, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're so grateful for them to be able to send the things that we care about. In my neighborhood, I see them working. I mean, obviously, we're off in the afternoon, so I take my daily walks and I kind of wave and, thank most of them in our area because they're out working really hard and cold temperatures outside too.
Yeah, I saw a dude yesterday. I could not believe how many packages he was carrying while walking down the street. He had like a bag strapped over his shoulder, another bag over the other shoulder, and then was carrying packages. I was like, I can't even carry laundry up the stairs without dropping a sock.
Well, that's nearly impossible, Jeremy. Come on.
Yeah, this guy could have done it. I'm telling you, he's that good. But as Dana Marie said, they are battling cold temperatures out there. And that's the case this morning. Any of those carriers out there, just say thank you because it is chilly. We see temperatures down near 20 degrees early on this morning. A few spots dipping into the teens. We're at 21 here in Spokane under clear skies. 18 in Sandpoint, 21 in Deer Park, 19 in Grand Coulee. Omak down to 17. Pullman, Moscow, you're a little warmer, up closer to 30 degrees than not. And that's all thanks to the clear skies overhead. We're going to hang on to those through the entire day. Enjoy it. Get out the sunglasses, step outside, soak in the sunshine because clouds move back in tomorrow. And then the snow. That's going to work its way in later on in the day. We're keeping a close eye on it. This is just one forecast model that kind of has that snow holding off until a bit later. Another puts it here a little bit earlier. So it all depends on what you look at and what you want to see. The optimist in me says, we could be looking at snow flying late Christmas Day. That'd be after the sun sets, but getting there, well, it's sunny. Temps up in the mid-30s later on this afternoon. If you find the sun, it sure is going to feel warm. Tomorrow, you're going to be hard-pressed to find any of that sunshine. Similar in terms of temps, but a whole lot of cloud cover before our incoming snow. Dana Marie?
All right, Jeremy, thank you for that Christmas gift to me, that sunshine. Very excited about that. Switching gears here, struggling Washington residents may have a little bit of relief through the new year. Governor Inslee has extended the state eviction moratorium this time through the end of March. Now, the moratorium has been in place since March of 2020 and was set to expire December 31st. Inslee said in a press release today that the moratorium has been critical for many as they cope with the impacts of the coronavirus pandemic. It bans residential evictions and late fees on unpaid rent. Inslee said additional details about the latest extension will be provided next week.
And Multicare has announced they have received their first shipment of the Moderna coronavirus vaccine. Multicare says that they will be prioritizing workers who are in high-risk areas like the ICU, emergency departments, and other frontline employees. They also promise to distribute the vaccine to other frontline workers as well.
We are giving 20% of our vaccine supply to our community partners who are frontline providers.
Those 20% of vaccines will go to first responders such as EMTs and firefighters. First vaccinations actually started on Wednesday for the staff at Rockwood Clinic, Valley, and Deaconess hospitals. Now, the state of Washington has received 127,900 doses of the Moderna vaccine. 15,800 of those doses are allocated to Spokane County. And health officials say the Moderna vaccine is much easier to store because it doesn't require ultra-low temperature storage like Pfizer's does.
Yesterday, we asked you who you thought should get the vaccine first. And here are some of your responses. Someone said first responders, medical staff, and care facility workers. Another said checkers at Walmart and other busy stores. Someone said grandparents and other high-risk individuals. Now, the CDC panel voted on its recommendations for who should get this next round of vaccines, and they determined that people 75 and older Also, frontline essential workers will be next. Those essential workers include police officers, firefighters, grocery store workers, teachers, and daycare staff. That group makes up about 49 million Americans. So many of those people who wrote into us asking for those people to be in the next round will get their wish. And the CDC announced a new milestone. Over 1 million Americans have gotten the coronavirus vaccine. They also said more than 9.4 million vaccines have been shipped across the country. President Trump's Operation Warp Speed is on track to have about 40 million doses of the vaccine distributed by the end of December. And our big story this morning is an update on the stimulus bill, and it's still stuck on Capitol Hill. House Democrats are expected to introduce an amendment to the coronavirus bill that would increase the amount of the bill's $600 stimulus check. President Trump vetoed a national defense bill yesterday. It was a sweeping bill that funds the military. Now, Congress passed the bill earlier this month with enough votes to override the president's veto. A vote is scheduled for next week. He is threatening to do the same for the coronavirus relief bill. This leaves the bill and much needed money on the table while Congress goes home for Christmas. Meanwhile, President Trump pardoned more than 24 people last night. Former advisor Roger Stone was convicted of lying to Congress, witness tampering, and obstruction stemming from the Russian investigation. And former campaign manager Paul Manafort was convicted of financial crimes brought by the special counsel Robert Mueller. Charles Kushner, the father of the President Trump's son-in-law, also got a pardon. He completed his sentence over a decade ago.
Guy hires a prostitute to seduce his brother-in-law and videotapes it, and then sends the videotape to his sister to attempt to intimidate her from testifying before a grand jury.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie was the U.S. attorney who prosecuted him.
6:07 is on the way in just a few seconds. Here, time now for your morning rush. More news in less time. Late last night, U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Forces arrested a North Idaho murder suspect in Spokane. The U.S. Marshals Task Forces in Coeur d'Alene and Spokane located and arrested Neil Mauser in Washington last night. The Bonner County District issued a warrant for his arrest earlier in the day, and Mauser was arrested for the murder of a man found shot near the Upper Pack River Valley area on December 10th. Another train has derailed in Washington this week, this time on the BNSF Railway in Yakima County yesterday afternoon. Take a look at your screen. You can see the video shared to us by Yakima County Sheriff's Office. As they say, the freight train derailed at State Route 22 and Phillips Road, about 2 miles east of the small town of Mabton. That's when they say it was hit by a semi-truck with a piece of farm equipment on it. Only minimal injuries have been reported. This derailment happened just one day after a tanker train hauling crude oil derailed north of Seattle, causing 2 train cars to burst into flames. The grandmother of J.J. Vallow is pleading for justice this morning after her grandson was found dead on his stepfather's Idaho property last June. In an interview with Elle magazine, Kay Woodcock says she wants her grandson's killer behind bars for life. JJ and his sister Tylee Ryan were reported missing in November of 2019. Their mother Lori Vallow and stepfather Chad Daybell refused to cooperate with that investigation, and both JJ and Tylee's bodies were later found on Daybell's property. But neither Daybell or Vallow have been charged with either child's murder. A local kindergartner now gets to enjoy his playground with some new enthusiasm today. Take a look as the robotics team at Bonners Ferry High School designed this customized scooter for kindergartner Weston Keefe. Weston, who isn't able to use his arms or hands, struggled to play on the school's playground in his previous wheelchair. And his school principal contacted the robotics team to build something unique to Weston's needs. So now his new wheelchair gives him that new freedom to cruise around the playground with ease. Merry Christmas to you, young man. That is your morning rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media. Still to come this morning, if your last-minute gift wrapping includes maybe a beautiful new blouse or a hardy winter jacket, the data shows you've actually picked some of this year's most popular gifts. We're going to take a look Christmas shopping trends this year, including the most popular gifts for your family and for yourself.
Ooh, I wonder if I bought myself one of those gifts. Probably. Statistically, I probably have to, right? Well, statistically, we have about a 60% chance of getting an inch of snow between now and Christmas because that's about the chance of a white Christmas. We're going to talk snow and the possibility of it flying on Christmas coming up after the break.
And there is a crisis beyond COVID-19 that plagues thousands of people in the inland Northwest. While businesses shut down, schools are closed, and news of the virus spread, need for food doubled, sometimes even tripled last year. As lines at food markets grew, the community came together to make a difference, to make a meal.
It was really a touching event for everyone. It was a Thanksgiving miracle.
KREM 2 tells the story of Tom's Turkey Drive during a worldwide pandemic and talks about the fight to feed a community. Celebrating Second Harvest, the National Guard, and all the people who gave this holiday season, join us for a KREM 2 special, Making of a Meal. And after the break, we're checking in with Santa, where he is, how busy he is this morning. We'll be right back.